All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Saira Mujtaba and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in G20 Extraordinary Leaders Summit on Afghanistan today. Prime Minister to address 28th NHRC Foundation Day program this morning. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses 95 crore 82 lakh mark. WHO recommends third dose of COVID vaccine for those with weaker immunity. Haryana bans government employees from participating in politics and elections. 3 terrorists killed in an encounter with security forces in Shopian district of Jammu and Kashmir. Higher reaches of Jammu and Kashmir experience first snowfall of the season. India, US, Japan and Australia to kick off second phase of this year's Malabar naval exercise in Bay of Bengal today. And in IPL cricket, Kolkata Knight Riders beat Royal Challengers Bangalore by 4 wickets to reach qualifier 2. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is underway, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings to its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in Morning News since 16th of August and will continue till 15th of August 2022. India Post has joined hands as the logistics partner with All India Radio News for the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. Recalling our yesterday's question, the Battle of Plassey was a crucial victory for the East India Company. In which state is Plassey located now? The correct answer is West Bengal. The Battle of Plassey became famous because it was the first major victory of the East India Company in India. Plassey is an anglicized pronunciation of Palashi, and the place derives its name from the Palash tree, known for its beautiful red flowers that yield gulal, the colored powder used in the festival of Holi. AIR News got an overwhelming response from its listeners across the world, and the one lucky winner of the quiz is Amitesh Sharma from Jammu.
मैं अमितेश शर्मा जम्मू व कश्मीर राज्य से ऑल इंडिया रेडियो का बहुत आभारी हूं कि उन्होंने आजादी का 75वां अमृत इतने शानदार तरीके से क्यूज के रूप में मना रहे हैं। ये क्यूज न केवल हमें अपने भारत के इतिहास, उसके देशवासी, उसके स्वतंत्रता सेनानी और उनकी गाथाओं के बारे में अवगत कराता है और ये क्यूज मैं कभी सोच भी नहीं सकता था कि इस उम्र में मेरे को कोई इनाम मिलेगा और वो भी क्यूज के रूप में, और ये मेरे बच्चों के लिए एक प्रेरणा का स्रोत है। मैं दोबारा अपने ऑल इंडिया रेडियो को धन्यवाद कहना चाहूंगा।
Congratulations, Mr. Amitesh Sharma from Team AIR News. And now, coming to our 18th question of the Amrit Mahotsav quiz in English. Who was the founder of Servants of India Society? I repeat the question. Who was the founder of Servants of India Society? Listeners can send in their responses to the question over WhatsApp on 8826 546262. Repeat, 8826 546262 or through email on amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in. I repeat the email ID, amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the G20 Extraordinary Leaders Summit on Afghanistan in virtual format today. The summit has been convened by Italy, the current chair of the G20 that comprises 20 of the world's major economies. More from our correspondent.
The agenda of the meeting will include a discussion on response to humanitarian needs and access to basic services and livelihood. Security and the fight against terrorism, mobility, migration and human rights will also be discussed. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had earlier participated in the SCO-CSTO Outreach Summit on Afghanistan. In his address, Mr. Modi had highlighted the problems caused by growing radicalization and extremism in the broader SCO region, which runs counter to the history of the region as a bastion of moderate and progressive cultures and values. The Prime Minister had noted that recent developments in Afghanistan could further exacerbate this trend towards extremism.
यह आवश्यक है कि नई व्यवस्था की मान्यता पर फैसला ग्लोबल कम्युनिटी सोच समझकर और सामूहिक तरह से ले। हमें मिलकर सुनिश्चित करना चाहिए कि अफगानिस्तान की धरती का उपयोग किसी भी देश में आतंकवाद फैलाने के लिए न हो। अफगानिस्तान के घटनाक्रम से जुड़ा विषय यह है कि इससे ड्रग्स, अवैध हथियारों और ह्यूमन ट्रैफिकिंग का अनियंत्रित प्रवाह बढ़ सकता है।
Noting the humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan, he had reiterated India's solidarity with the Afghan people. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar participated in the meeting of G20 foreign ministers on Afghanistan on the margins of the UN General Assembly in New York. The G20 is an important platform to help build international consensus and facilitate a coordinated approach between multilateral organizations, including the UN and its agencies, and global and regional actors to address the worsening humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan. Anupam Mish, AR News, Delhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the 28th National Human Rights Commission NHRC Foundation Day program at 11 a.m. today via video conferencing. Home Minister Amit Shah and NHRC chairperson will also be present during the event. NHRC was set up under the Protection of Human Rights Act 1993 on 12 October 1993 for the promotion and protection of human rights. The Commission takes cognizance of any form of human rights violations, conducts inquiries, and in cases of violation of human rights, recommends to the public authorities for payment of compensation to the victims, other remedial and legal measures against the erring public servants. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 95 crore 82 lakh mark. Out of the total vaccination, more than 68 crore 61 lakh vaccine doses have been given as first dose, while over 27 crore 21 lakh doses have been administered as second dose. Talking to AIR News, Dr. Arvind Kumar of Medanta Hospital has appealed people to come forward to get vaccinated.
वैक्सीनेशन लगवाना एक पर्सनल काम नहीं है, मेरे हिसाब से ये एक राष्ट्रीय ड्यूटी है, क्योंकि हर व्यक्ति अगर इसको एक राष्ट्रीय ड्यूटी समझ करके करेगा और लगवाएगा और सारे 130 करोड़ लोग वैक्सीनेट हो जाएंगे, तभी हमारा देश कलेक्टिवली अपने को सेफ महसूस कराएगा। जैसा कि कहा जाता है, नो वन इज सेफ अनलेस एवरीवन इज सेफ। सभी लोगों को वैक्सीन नहीं लग जाएगी तब तक हम में से कोई भी सेफ महसूस नहीं कर सकता, और लगवा के लोगों को बताना और उनको एनकरेज करना ये अपने आप में बहुत ही एक महत्वपूर्ण कार्रवाई है।
Union Health Ministry said more than 59,62,000 doses were administered yesterday. The vaccination exercise as a tool to protect the most vulnerable population groups in the country from COVID-19 continues to be regularly reviewed and monitored at the highest level.
World Health Organization has recommended that people with weaker immune systems should be offered an additional dose of all authorized COVID-19 vaccines. UN Health Agency's Strategic Advisory Group of Experts on Immunization, or SAGE, said the additional dose should be offered as part of an extended primary series, since these individuals are less likely to respond adequately to vaccination following a standard primary vaccine series and are at high risk of severe COVID-19 disease. The SAGE said over 60s who have been fully immunized with China's Sinovac and Sinopharm vaccine should be offered an additional third COVID-19 vaccine dose. The experts stressed that they are not recommending an additional so-called booster dose for the population at large. In Jammu and Kashmir, 3 Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists were killed in an encounter with security forces at village Tulran in Imam Sahib area of Shopian district early this morning. Inspector General of Police, Kashmir, Vijay Kumar said that one terrorist has been identified as Mukhtar Shah of Gandarbal, who had shifted to Shopian after killing one street hawker, Virendra Paswan of Bihar, on the outskirts of Srinagar city a few days back. Incriminating materials, including arms and ammunition, have been recovered from the possession of the slain terrorist. Search operation in the area is still continuing. Talking to AIR News, DGP Dilbagh Singh said 3 terrorists have been killed.
शोपियां का ऑपरेशन पिछली शाम एक खास इत्तला पे शुरू हुआ था, जो अभी सुबह समाप्त हुआ है। इसमें 3 दहशतगर्द मारे जा चुके हैं। ये तीनों दहशतगर्द लोकल हैं और काफी लंबे अरसे से मिलिटेंसी की कार्रवाइयों में शामिल थे। पिछले कुछ 4 दिन के अंदर ये जो अभियान इनके खिलाफ चलाया है, ये 4था कामयाब ऑपरेशन है और अभी तक 6 टोटल टेररिस्ट इसमें मारे गए हैं। काफी बड़ी तादाद में इनसे असला मिशन जो है वो पकड़ा गया है और उसके अलावा इंक्रिमिनेटिंग जो और भी चीजें इनके पास पकड़ी गई हैं, किसी जगह पे एक्सप्लोजिव मटीरियल भी पकड़ा गया है और बाकी की जो कार्रवाई अभी जारी है।
The higher reaches of Jammu and Kashmir experienced first snowfall of the season yesterday. The holy cave shrine of Amarnath also received snowfall. The Zojila Pass in Sonmarg, Sadhana Top in Karna, Kupwara and Gulmarg in Baramulla also received the first snowfall of the season. The snowfall in upper reaches and rains in the plains have dipped the temperature considerably, forcing the people of Kashmir to wear warm clothes. Haryana has banned government employees from participating in politics and elections. A notification has been issued from the office of the Chief Secretary in this regard. A government spokesperson said any violation of the order will invite immediate and strict disciplinary action. As per the notification, no government employee should be a member of any political party or any organization which takes part in politics. They should also not aid or assist any political movement or activity. Display of any electoral symbol by a government employee on his person, vehicle or residence will amount to using his influence in connection with an election, the spokesperson said.
The CBI has registered a case against a private company, Trimax IT Infrastructure and Services, its officials and some unknown persons for cheating the State Bank of India. The private company and its managing director, Surya Prakash Madrecha, and director, Chandra Prakash Madrecha and others were booked for cheating the SBI to the tune of over 862 crore 6 lakh rupees during 2009 to 2017 period. It was alleged that the accused were granted credit facilities under consortium banking, which were enhanced from time to time.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in G20 Extraordinary Leaders Summit on Afghanistan today. Prime Minister to address 28th NHRC Foundation Day program this morning. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses 94 crore 82 lakh mark. WHO recommends 3rd dose of COVID vaccine for those with weaker immunity. Haryana bans government employees from participating in politics and elections. 3 terrorists killed in an encounter with security forces in Shopian district of Jammu and Kashmir. Higher reaches of Jammu and Kashmir experience first snowfall of the season. India, US, Japan and Australia to kick off second phase of this year's Malabar naval exercise in Bay of Bengal today. And in IPL cricket, Kolkata Knight Riders beat Royal Challengers Bangalore by 4 wickets to reach Qualifier 2. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Quad countries, India, US, Japan and Australia, will kick off the second phase of this year's Malabar naval exercise in the Bay of Bengal today. The second phase, to be held from October 12 to 15, will focus on advanced surface and anti-submarine warfare exercises, seamanship evolution and weapon firings. The Indian Navy said the exercise will seek to build on the synergy, coordination and interoperability developed during the first phase held in August. The navies of the Quad nations conducted the first phase of the drills near the Pacific Ocean island of Guam from 26th to 29th of August. It involved destroyers, frigates, corvettes, submarines, helicopters, long-range maritime patrol aircraft and elite special forces elements, including US Navy SEALs and Indian Navy's Marine Commandos, also known as Marcos. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar arrived in Nur Sultan in Kazakhstan on the second leg of his visit to Central Asia. Dr. Jaishankar will attend the 6th ministerial meeting of the Conference of Interaction and Confidence Building Measures in Asia, or CICA, in Nur Sultan today. Kazakhstan is the current chair and initiator of the CICA forum. Dr. Jaishankar is also expected to hold bilateral talks with Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Kazakhstan and call on the Kazakh leadership. He began the visit in Kazakhstan with a bilateral meeting with Uzbekistan Foreign Minister Abdul Aziz Kamilov. The conversation focused on recent developments in Afghanistan. Dr. Jaishankar also met Foreign Minister of Turkmenistan Rashid Meredov. They discussed bilateral and regional cooperation. Both ministers exchanged views on neighborhood developments and agreed to remain in close touch.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
In today's episode, we are paying our tributes to freedom fighter, author, thinker and political leader Ram Manohar Lohia, who left us on 12th October in 1967. Lohia was born on 23rd of March 1910 at Akbarpur in the then Faizabad district of Uttar Pradesh.
His father was a great follower of Mahatma Gandhi, and at an early age itself, Ram Manohar leaned towards Gandhian philosophy and turned a satyagrahi at the age of 10. During school days, Lohia launched a campaign against textbooks which described Shivaji as a bandit king and later joined protest against Simon Commission.
After completing graduation from Calcutta University, Lohia went to Europe for further studies. While in Europe, Lohia attended the League of Nations Assembly in Geneva. India was represented by the Maharaja of Bikaner, a well-known favourite of the British Raj.
Lohia took exception to this and launched a protest from the visitors' gallery. He sent several letters to editors of newspapers and magazines to clarify the reason for his protest. The whole incident made Lohia a recognized figure in India overnight.
Lohia helped organize the Association of European Indians and became the secretary of the club. The main focus of the organization was to preserve and expand the Indian nationalism outside India. Lohia wrote his PhD thesis paper on the topic of salt satyagraha, focusing on Gandhiji's socio-economic theory.
Lohia was attracted to socialism and helped lay the foundation of Congress Socialist Party in 1934. Lohia was arrested and sentenced to 2 years in prison when he wrote the article Satyagraha Now in Gandhiji's newspaper Harijan on June 1st, 1940. He was mentally tortured and interrogated by his jailers, but in December 1941, he was released along with other leaders by British authorities in a desperate attempt to destabilize India internally.
During the Quit India movement in 1942, when prominent leaders were jailed, Lohia carried out operations from underground. Lohia, along with freedom fighter Usha Mehta, broadcast messages in Bombay for 3 whole months from a secret radio station called Congress Radio before detection. He revived the movement in Kolkata and later fled to Nepal to evade the British. However, he was captured in May 1944. Lohia was taken to a prison in Lahore, but under Gandhiji's pressure, he was released.
As India's tryst with freedom neared, Hindu-Muslim strife increased. Lohia strongly opposed partitioning India in his speeches and writings. He appealed to communities in riot-torn regions to stay united, ignore the violence surrounding them, and stick to Gandhiji's ideals of non-violence.
Lohia comforted the Mahatma on partition issue and remained beside Gandhiji as a son would remain beside a father in the hour of crisis in the aftermath of independence.
Dr. Lohia was the first to introduce the idea of unification of some 650 Indian princely states together to form larger states, an idea which was later successfully executed by Sardar Patel, first Home Minister of India. After independence, Lohia made his indelible mark in democratic India as a great thinker and parliamentarian and a fighter for the cause of minorities, lower classes and women.
During his last few years, besides politics, he spent hours talking to thousands of young adults on topics ranging from Indian literature, politics and art. Lohia died on October the 12th, 1967 in New Delhi. He left behind no property or bank balance but prudent contemplations.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Rural Development and Panchayati Raj Minister Giriraj Singh inaugurated a training program on the sandalwood farming and management of its health via video conferencing. It was inaugurated in association with the Institute of Wood Science and Technology IWST, Bengaluru yesterday. The program is structured around the basics and benefits of Indian sandalwood, seed handling, nursery techniques and managing the health of the plant.
Niti Aayog Vice Chairman Rajiv Kumar has launched the Niti Aayog United Nations Development Programme or UNDP Handbook on Sustainable Urban Plastic Waste Management in New Delhi. It provides a comprehensive overview of managing plastic waste by representing and discussing components of the entire plastic waste value chain. Speaking on the occasion, Dr. Kumar said, spreading awareness amongst the masses about the harmful effects of plastic is the need of the hour. In Tamil Nadu, the poll results for rural local bodies in 9 new districts will be declared today. The counting of votes will begin from 8 in the morning at 74 centres and results will be declared online. In the elections, the BJP and the PMK who were earlier with the AIADMK fought it alone while DMK allies were intact. More details from our correspondent.
The rural local body polls were held for 27,003 posts in 2 phases. The first phase recorded 77% polling, while the second phase registered more than 78% polling. Close to 80,000 candidates are in the fray. Election to a village panchayat president post was stalled by a court, and polls for a panchayat union ward member, 2 village panchayat presidents, and 21 village panchayat ward members were not held, as none filed nominations or all the candidates who filed nominations withdrew them. Joy, AIR News, Chennai.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed grief on the demise of actor Nedumudi Venu. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, Nedumudi Venu was a versatile actor who could fill life into diverse roles across many genres. The Prime Minister said he was also a prolific writer and was passionate about theatre. Mr. Modi said his passing away is a loss to the world of films and culture.
On the 7th day of Navratri today, Devi Kalratri is worshipped. In a tweet, Mr. Modi prayed to Ma Kalratri to remove all the obstacles and bring happiness, peace, prosperity and good health in everyone's life.
Devi Satatam Pato Samdeni Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Ma Kalaratri Rupena Samsthita.
Minister for Youth Affairs and Sports Anurag Thakur participated in the Clean India Drive at Humayun's Tomb in Delhi this morning, along with volunteers of Nehru Yuva Kendra. The month-long Clean India campaign is being organized by Nehru Yuva Kendra at various places from the 1st of this month. In Iraq, a Shiite Muslim cleric, Muqtada al-Sadr party, is the biggest winner in an Iraqi parliamentary election. His party has increased the number of its seats from 54 in 2018 to 73 this time. in the 329-member parliament, according to initial results.
In IPL cricket, Kolkata Knight Riders beat Royal Challengers Bangalore by 4 wickets in the eliminator match at Sharjah last night to reach the qualifier 2. Kolkata will now face Delhi Capitals in the second qualifier tomorrow at Sharjah. Its winners will play the final against Chennai Super Kings on Friday at Dubai.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast for today. Srinagar will have a partly cloudy sky with temperatures hovering between 9 and 23 degrees Celsius, while Jammu will have a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. Gilgit will have a generally cloudy sky. Muzaffarabad will also have a partly cloudy sky. National capital Delhi will have a mainly clear sky. Temperatures will hover between 22 and 36 degrees Celsius. Chennai is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Kolkata will have a partly cloudy sky. Guwahati will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder lightning. Shillong will witness generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Indo-China talks ending without a resolution and the lingering fear of worsening air pollution at this time of the year are some of the prominent stories covered by the press. India-China new round of talks to diffuse tension failed, reports a Pioneer. The Asian Age writes, talks break down as India asks China for full disengagement. The Economic Times says PMO to review coal position at thermal power plants today. The Pioneer notes, Shah holds meet as more states voice blackout fear. Air quality slips to poor zone at some stations in the capital, headlines of Hindustan Times. The Asian Age writes, PM Modi to attend G20 summit on Afghanistan today. And finally, all papers notice the winners of Nobel Prize in Economics. 3 win Eco Nobel for research on wages, jobs, writes the Asian Age. And the Economic Times says, Eco Nobel to natural experiments pioneers.
Before we end the bulletin, a reminder of today's question of the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. Who was the founder of Servants of India Society? I repeat the question. Who was the founder of Servants of India Society? WhatsApp your response on 8826 546262. Repeat 8826 546262 or through email on amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in. Amrit Mahotsav quiz @prasarbharati.gov.in. Celebrate 75 years of India's independence by participating in Amrit Mahotsav quiz with AIR News. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Modi to participate in G20 Extraordinary Leaders Summit on Afghanistan today. Prime Minister to address 28th NHRC Foundation Day program this morning. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses 95 crore 82 lakh mark. WHO recommends third dose of COVID vaccine for those with weaker immunity. Haryana bans government employees from participating in politics and elections. 3 terrorists killed in an encounter with security forces in Shopian district of Jammu and Kashmir. Higher reaches of Jammu and Kashmir experience first snowfall of the season. India, US, Japan and Australia to kick off second phase of this year's Malabar naval exercise in Bay of Bengal today. And in IPL cricket, Kolkata Knight Riders beat Royal Challengers Bangalore by 4 wickets to reach qualifier 2. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a great day.